Welcome back. Yes, I am home. As planned, the 32 team countdown for the power rankings finished before I came home. I paced it out that way. I knew the view counts weren't going to be fantastic, but when you do a 32 team video set, they're not going to be great necessarily. But I'm glad to see some people enjoyed it. Some people understood what I was doing there, that it was from 2017, 2018 until now. There were those that didn't, but that's okay. So, some news of the day for all you fine people, and taking into account that I did not have a chance yesterday or the day before to really properly address this. There were some things that I wanted to talk about, but I felt like I wanted to be back on the set talking about it rather than talking about it from a hotel room or from Disneyland. Because, if you want to be taken seriously, you don't necessarily want the Matterhorn in the background. All right, so starting off with Matthias Samuelsson. He's dealing with an upper body injury and it requires surgery. He will miss the remainder of the season. So for a Buffalo Sabres team, that their hopes of making the playoffs are already pretty slim altogether, losing Samuelsson for the rest of the year is part and parcel of probably what's going to cause them not to make the playoffs this year. And I say part and parcel, meaning there's a lot of reasons that Buffalo right now finds themselves falling short, but not having Samuelsson the rest of the year is not going to help their cause. Jesse Puljujarvi is on the comeback trail. He has signed a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Penguins worth $800,000 per season, prorated for this year and through next season as well. Puljujarvi was brought into Wilkes-Barre, and I guess they're impressed with how he's been doing. So he has been signed to the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team that could definitely use some scoring depth for Puljujarvi. We'll see how he does in Pittsburgh and whether or not he's able to realize that potential, which is there. The potential is absolutely there. The talent is there. It's just a matter of making it all add up and work. So waiver wire news from today as well. Pachal claimed on waivers by the Flames from Vegas. I like this one actually. Pachal, I think, is a decent pickup. He's not going to wow you offensively, but good, decent, hardworking player, and I think he's going to help the Calgary Flames. The Flames, of course, with the Lindholm trade, and it looks like they're leaning towards potentially going into a rebuild. But keep in mind that trading out Lindholm doesn't necessarily mean they're throwing in the towel. And so they're going to be an interesting team to watch over the next month now as we get ready for the trade deadline. It is nice to have that week off and then come back to, hockey's back and then the trade deadline's upcoming. So it kind of works out, and so we'll see what the Flames do between now and I believe it's March 9th is the trade deadline this year. So Pahal could be a good pickup for them. Prosvetov has cleared waivers for the Colorado Avalanche. I'm mildly surprised for this, but I guess Annunen has won himself that backup role in Colorado. He's had stops and starts as a mostly third goaltender in the Colorado organization because he's been behind Francouz and now Georgiev, and before that it would have been Kemper. But for Annunen, he's won the backup job. Prosvetov clears, so he gets sent down to the AHL roster, and it does mean they have some depth in goal. I totally understand why he cleared. I would have also understood if a team decided to pick him up and see what he might be able to do, but this is the second time now this year that Prosvetov's found himself on the waiver wire. That's how Colorado picked him up to start the season. So all the best to him in his endeavors in the American Hockey League. We'll see how it turns out. So I did see some upset with the skills competition. So Connor McDavid was called by the NHL. We wanna change up the skills competition, and we need some help. So McDavid's like, all right. So he helped them out with it. And also, got them to basically throw in $1 million for the winner. Connor McDavid wins it. Here's the thing. They called McDavid to come in and set this up because he's one of the most talented players in the National Hockey League. So the fact that he won, I don't think is that big a deal. And then I saw people saying, well, he should just donate it to charity. So the league's making about, last I saw was $5.2 billion this year? And that $1 million going to McDavid is really that big of a deal? I don't get it. Anyways, I find that's so weird. You better not keep that money. Why? He earned it, and of course he's got a chance to win it because he's talented. I even saw one post of, well, it should go to the lower tier players, the guys who make less money. They should have a chance at $1 million. That's really not what the skills competition is. It's not a charity. It's more of a who's the most talented player in the league, and surprise, surprise, is Connor McDavid. If we'd held this in the 80s and $1 million was on the line, Gretzky would have enjoyed that $1 million, Lemieux would have enjoyed that $1 million, and the other players would have enjoyed having a chance to watch them win that $1 million. And again, it's about the NHL trying to get that media attention. And the All-Star Game seemed to go as well as it can. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to the All-Star Game. I did see Pasternak's statement, about the Maple Leafs getting a win there. A little bit of a dig there, but yeah, Boston hasn't won the Cup since 2011 either. So, but anyways, I also saw the whole thing online about Demko not doing the goalie hug with Swayman. I think that's being overblown a little bit too. But at any rate, it is that whole internet thing now where we need to overblow everything and make a big deal of it. But I think McDavid's legitimately the most talented player in the league. There are others who are in that position, and it is a shame. I will agree with people that it's a shame Connor Bedard was injured and couldn't take part. I think it would have been fantastic to see what Bedard could have done at the Skills, but he'll be at the Skills next year and we'll get a chance to see it. Unless, of course, the Four Nations Cup means we don't get a skills competition. The interesting thing is, apparently, with the Olympics coming back in 2026, so the NHL is going to the Olympics in two years, they're considering having an All-Star game before they do the Olympics. Now, I think there's a very simple reason for this. The NHL makes more money off the All-Star weekend than they do off sending players to the Olympics. Now, with whatever deal they have to send the players to the Olympics in 2026, they're going to make more than they usually do. But yeah, they make more money with the All-Star weekend. And keeping in mind, All-Star weekend really is for kids. So All-Star weekend is far more accessible for little kids. Little kids think it's great. There's a reason players bring their little kids to the All-Star game. I think that we as adults make a bigger deal out of it than we really should. Obviously, players are not going to go out and risk getting hurt. Now, they may try a little harder than Kucherov, and I thought it was funny he got booed too. I mean, if he doesn't want to make the effort, he doesn't want to make the effort. But at any rate, he's got his 2 cup rings, and I'm sure, he's probably skating around wearing those. That does make it harder to shoot when you've got those big Stanley Cup rings on. But at any rate, yeah, I think them going to the Olympics is great. I think having an all-star break before the Olympics is a little much. Keep in mind, this is the same National Hockey League that for at least a decade now has argued, hey, if we send players to the All-Star, or if we send players to the Olympics, that really throws off our schedule, and it really, it's the schedule maker. Well, so if it throws off the schedule, why are you going to have extra days now for the All-Star break? So we'll see what they do. I'm assuming we won't have another All-Star game for 3 years, and I'm okay with that. I do feel like if the All-Star game wasn't necessarily every year, even though I use it to take a vacation and just, have some time to depressurize, I think if they took the All-Star break out every other year, I think that would make, or even once every 3 years you have an All-Star game, I think it would make it feel a little more important. But again, you're never going to have a game that players really go out 100%, that they're out there body checking and they're, fighting so hard to win. It's not there. It's a skills competition leading to basically a 3-on-3 skills showcase. So it is what it is. It's never going to be anything more than what it is. I've watched All-Star games since the early 80s. It's just that's nature of the beast. I do kind of think that if they did like they did way back when the All-Star game started, where you would have the Stanley Cup champions against a team of All-Stars, that could be interesting, but I don't know how much more competitive that would necessarily be. And then, of course, that would take out the 3-on-3 part, and you definitely could not have a player from every single team in that. So anyways, yeah, let me know your thoughts on the NHL going back to the Olympics. I know that a lot of fans have wanted to see that. Let me know your thoughts, too, on the Four Nations Cup. Next year, it's a warm-up for the Olympics is basically what it is. So, yeah, we'll see how it all goes. I'm also going to throw my hat in the ring now with the whole what's going on with Arizona thing. Arizona was assuring everybody that by the end of January, we would know what was going on. And I felt like All-Star Weekend was the perfect time to make an announcement. The fact that it's been crickets from the Arizona organization, yep, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon now and say, you know what? It is time for the rubber to meet the road. Now, Gary Bettman, publicly, when asked about this at the All-Star break, said he's reasonably confident they can secure an NHL quality arena in Arizona. Reasonably confident is not nearly as sunshiny and bright and rosy as he's been in the past. I think Bettman knows that this is an issue. But also, you'll notice in red in between, the NHLPA has no power over this. As much as Marty Walsh might wish that they had some power, they don't. And players still re-sign in Arizona. You're not having a problem with getting players to play there. So there's not really a huge argument to be had there. I know people have complained about what it does to the salary cap, but really, in all honesty, the salary cap's going to go up this summer as well. But I will agree now with people that it might be time to look at other options. And I don't know how you do this because you basically have to ask Alex Mariuello to sell the team. And I don't think he's going to want to do that. And I don't think he's going to want to be the owner of the team and move it out of Arizona. He's been very outspoken about it working in Arizona. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm right there now. I was saying to myself, okay, by the end of January, there should be an announcement. And I've been very, very vocal about how, hey, let's just see, there should be an announcement sometime in January. That was the soft deadline we had, and now, yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, for the schedule maker, they're going to need to know really, really soon what's going to happen. Gary Bettman also came out and talked about expansion and kind of hemmed and hawed on Quebec City. I will talk about that in another video as well. I'm not going to talk about that in a video now, but at some point soon I will. Now, I'm sorry I keep pausing, but the cats, I'm having to kind of wrangle them because they've had a week without me home. But anyways, yeah, so we'll see what happens with the Coyotes, whether or not they end up playing in Salt Lake City. But I really, I am now basically, and not only that, but even the Coyotes on social media, posting sort of a tongue-in-cheek, we'd like to have a new home kind of thing. And it just feels like at this point, yeah, I'm there now too. We're into February. We should have had something announced by now, and there's nothing. I would think if they had a plot of land that they knew that they were going to move to, that we would know by now. So we'll see where it goes from here. But yeah, I'm of the mind that something has got to change soon. But the Board of Governors have to make that happen. The Board of Governors have to go to Bettman and say, look, we're losing too much money here. We need to make a change. And then Bettman would have to listen because the Board of Governors are the boss for Gary Bettman. As long as they're happy, Bettman's there for forever. But if the Board of Governors decide, hey, we're going to have to make a change, that's where Bettman would then have to do something there. So, again, we'll see what happens from here. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts. I do know the thoughts of most people. But as much as I've been saying, we'll give them some time, it feels like they've had a lot of time. And there still hasn't been any announcement. Now, having said that, would I be surprised if I wake up in the morning and there's been an announcement? Nope, not at all, because those things do happen. So Elias Lindholm was talked to after his first practice as a Canuck today. And he's happy to join the Canucks. I think he's happy to have the discussions of whether or not he'll re-sign in Calgary put away as well. I'm going to say this. Now, I've seen people saying that, well, they can't re-sign Lindholm. His ask is $9 million plus. A, his ask may change with the Canucks. They may be able to talk him into a different number. And B, Lindholm is pretty good insurance in case Pettersson decides he doesn't want to sign long-term and if the Canucks decide to make a change. So basically, you've added Lindholm, and if you need to end up moving Pettersson because it's obvious that you might be in a Matthew Tkachuk situation, then you can re-sign Lindholm. You can add other pieces in a deal potentially involving Pettersson, and it might help you out. So I'm okay with it. And again, we'll see how it turns out, but it sounds like he's quite happy. And we'll see. Maybe that's what was dragging some of his numbers down in Calgary. Maybe he was a bit distracted. These things do happen. Players do get distracted. And so, yeah, I'm kind of, crossing my fingers about this one and hopeful that Lindholm does well in Vancouver. And that, I hope Kuzmenko does well in Calgary as well. I think Kuzmenko is still a good player. It's just it was a bad fit in Vancouver. So I think this is a trade that just works out for both teams. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And thank you to those who watched while I wasn't at home, watched all those videos that I produced before I went on vacation. And for watching the ones that I made while I was on vacation. So anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support. I'm going to go sleep for probably like 15 hours or something along those lines. I definitely, you guys know how it works when you're on vacation. You don't sleep very much on vacation, especially, Disney is open till midnight and opens at 6 in the morning, or 8 in the morning. But you have to be up at 6 in the morning, so you got to be on the line for rope drop. Anyway, Thank you guys so much for all your support, though. It does mean a lot. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please go ahead and do so. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It means a ton. And for everybody I met down in Anaheim, that's been great. I'd like to thank the Ducks for the Paul Kariya bobblehead as well. That was very nice, and they gave us a really nice Hawaiian shirt that I plan to wear as well as, of course, the jersey that you guys saw. And I will be posting the interview I had with Alexis while I was down there. I will also be posting the interview that I had on the radio with Steve Carroll, who was fantastic. I really do hope that the next time we go down into Anaheim, that I have a chance to sit down and talk to Steve Carroll again. And it would be great to, sit and chat with Alexis and the guys. There are definitely people you guys don't see behind the scenes who keep that ship running. And again, and I've mentioned this over the last week, but it does make it really difficult to boo the Ducks. It does make it really difficult to hate the Ducks, and I always thought that was their plan. And dang it. But Wild Wing was nice too. He did come over and take pictures with their daughter, so I thought that was nice. And so it was a good time had by all. We will be talking about that in videos over the upcoming week as well. Not only on this channel, but on the secondary channel as well, the Entertainment Guy. So look forward to those, but thank you guys for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.